Hello, g'day, good evening to you. I hope you're well where you sit or listen to this. This is a medical cannabis program, and it's involved with respecting the law and safe practices of medical cannabis. And with that, it's an organic approach too. I don't support the synthetic type feeding. I support the earth and the environment. So it's the organic approach is the way I like to do it. So please stay safe. Respect your laws. All right, Aussie Autos, how you going, mate? Nice to see you, nice and early. And Google E, how are you? Google E, it's been a little while. And Dave, 1969, how's it going? Yep, you can hear me, that's good. Just checking. Audio, yes, yep. I've had a few problems when the audio didn't work. Not good, mate. How you going, Vin? And Jeff Propalia, how you going, mate? Nice to see you. And Cloudscape Mystical, he's just chopping up some 9-pound hammer. That's going to get you nice meds. Well done. Well done. What was I going to do then? All right, we've got an open topic for today. I'll change the background. This week is an open topic again, and I don't know what to talk about. So if you guys have got, and girls have got any questions, please just drop them, and we'll start with a bit of a see how it goes, because it's going pretty good like that the last few. So yeah, when you're ready, or I'll start. If I haven't got any questions in a couple of minutes, I'll start just talking about stuff that I want to talk about, and you know, I don't know if you will be too happy. So I'd rather help you people out. How you going, Mark Zuckerturd, CC and Cole? Oh, I can do this thing, can't I? I can show everybody. How you going, mate? He's getting up to, he got his good meds. G'day, Vin. G'day, lads, he says. How you going, Dave? He's Google E. Yes. Very good. All right, does anybody have any chat? Anything to talk about? All right, well, I'm going to get into it, unless there's any questions coming up. I will show something on, what can I show you? Share screen. White Ashes, how you going, White Ashes? It's just an open medical cannabis topic today, mate. So if you've got any questions, let them rip. You see my screen now. Look at this, this is full on. So quick, grab the watering can. They're dry as. And you go and grab the can, you think, wow, quick, get into it. And oh, it's all right, there's just a little spider there. And then you zoom in a bit. And it's not just a little spider, it's a redback. Ooh, you can tell they got the real full-on webs. They got that. They're not neat with their webs too. If you see something crisscross, so some safety, safety pick. All right, back to this one. The open stream. White Ashes, how you going? Any questions? Any guys and girls? Hey, Terrence. Redbacks are scary as. Yes, they sure are. Not really good. Can I tell you that story? I suppose I got a bit of a construction background, and a builder friend, he went and said, oh, no, I'm not going to say it. Aussie Autos put me off then. You are a hook, thank you. Okay. Wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about, mate. Last time I heard from that fella, there's a bit of drama, so I unfollowed it, because I don't get into drama. There's too much stuff, positive things in life to focus on for me, or that I like to associate with. Cloudscape, Tasman, I'm still chasing. Oh, okay. Oh, looks like Aussie Auto's having a bit of a laugh. Don't know what that's talking about. All right, back into some medical cannabis stuff. What else can I show you? So I'm going to show you my entire screen. So we're going to go into plant science. It's always good. So what do you want to talk about with plant science? Plant cells, seed maturation, reversed pharmacology, plastids, no. Let's keep it simple. Plant cells, no. Circadian rhythms, all right, let's talk about that. Because the plant cells, they generate rhythms that flow. Like if you were to somehow put it onto a oscilloscope, you'll see that the patterns will be like this. So the clock, the circadian rhythm is the clock, you know, the 24-hour clock. So plants are in with that. So they've got, like this shows here, the flowering. It's a yearly thing. And the pollen tubes, they take like a minute, and then they stop growing, a minute, and they stop growing. The guard cells move every 3 minutes. If you were to put them under a microscope, HC chlorophyll, okay, that's pretty micro. Your nodes, your nodules in your nodes, okay, in your roots to form your, not in cannabis, that's rhizobium. That's forming a root nodule, so they take every minute. Lateral roots every 6 hours, they'll put something out, so they'll grow down, then they'll go the sideways. So the primary root grows down and the lateral root grows out. The lateral roots every 6 hours, and the root hairs every minute. So if you've got a good substrate that's going to support growth, you can see the root hairs are going to be every minute. So you'll expect a nice hairy root ball when you pull it up. So if you don't pull it up and see that, you know you can do better. The root circumnavigator, no, we don't get that. Oh, yes, we do. That's where it's looking. It puts out a spiral thing to find its best position. In other words, like when it hits a rock, it just doesn't stop. It still moves, and that's its circumnavigation that helps it get around obstacles. And that happens every 2 hours. And what's that? Protonema. Okay. Not sure what that refers to. That's from some cell biology. All right, rapid screening for plant resistance. So if you were to have a problem with your grow, what you'll do is you'd screen it and you'd see what's going on. So you take a few cuts, grow them back, and then you keep them going through here. You put them out, you'd prune it, and you'd see what happens. And here they're going to back cross it, and then they'll improve their genetics from that. In the field, 3 to 4 months, epigenetics happens. Epigenetics happens always. That's when the environment, abiotic or biotic stresses influence the genetic growth in the plants. And some can be systemic and last forever and code the DNA, and some can just be seasonal. But it still happens. So there's a growth, what's that? Cloning mother plant paper that they did a study on to see where the best part of the plant was to clone it to retain its pure genetics and not its epigenetics. And they found that it was in the middle. Growth, no, it's not that one. It's the mosaicism balance hypothesis. Mosaicism balance hypothesis. Genetic mosaicism balance hypothesis. Genetic mosaicism. Something like that anyway. If you Google it, I'm sure you'll find it. All right, I've got to stop sharing. See what's going on, if there's anything happening in the thing. No, today's just an open, g'day Yield Source, how's it going, mate? Today's just an open medical cannabis topic, so if you've got any questions, drop them in, and I'll go into some detail and see what sort of slides I have to share to explain them, because I don't have any real heading today for the show. So if there's anything, please drop them in. Otherwise, you're going to hear me go on about a few things that you probably don't want to hear. They might be a bit technical, possibly. All right, well, not much happening in chat, so I'm going to get back to and share some stuff. See what other interesting things are in here. The entries of plants, I suppose, well, this is pretty good. Medicinal. When you smoke or consume your medicinal cannabis. You got your, this is for CB1, CB2. THC is the CB1 and CB2 pathways. So when you consume it, this is what's being unlocked, or those receptors are being activated, is a better way to put it. So yeah, there's multiple receptors in all of the human body, and that's why Harvard Medical Science said that it's the 6th body system, is the endocannabinoid system. Questions from that? No. G'day. What's this? Non-acclimated. Oh, that's a full-on study. I'm not going to talk about that one. No. Dampening off. No. What's this thing? This is a good general chart. This is to show the mobile and immobile plant inside of a plant on how the elements move or don't move around. So most of them are mobile, but the 3 ones that are immobile is calcium, boron, and manganese. So if you're going to see any types of deficiencies in these 3, they're going to be in the new growth, because the old growth will already doesn't show for it. Down here is your relevant nutrients that the plant needs. It needs 17, and these are the 17. And then it's got a few quasi-nutrients that are flexible. There's still, the cannabis plant does need all these, 19, I'd say. But it's in the relevant form that it's going to be. Like nitrogen has about half a dozen different forms it can be, but it's only 2 that the plant recognizes and can accept and use, the nitrate and ammonium. Same with phosphorus, has 2 as well. The orthophosphates in the primary and the secondary. H2PO4 minus, H2PO4 negative 2. Everything else is pretty similar. Boron actually has 2 forms too, boric acid and borate. That'll do for that. Relative importance of soil supply mechanisms. So if you're feeding, if you're watering at different mass flow is when you pour it all in and it comes out. Diffusion is when it settles in there and it slowly diffuses through. Interception is a mix of the both. So if you're looking to retain nutrients, you could use this chart to retain a lot of the nutrients. For instance, mass flow, the supply mechanism is only 1%, is 99% for nitrogen. So if you pour too much through, because over here nitrate is negative, soil collude, and that's soil is also negative, so it's just going to flush straight out. So if you want to try and retain it, you could use diffusion. Down here, the cation bonding strength is so important, because if you've got a anion and cation, see that ammonium is a positive, so it's a cation, and nitrate is an anion with a negative. So if you've got soil sitting down there with the positive sitting there, and it's just got nothing on it, it's brand new soil, and you've just cleansed it, for instance, you maybe put it and you've put it in the oven and did a test on it, and you wanted to see the bulk density, for instance, of the soil. So you put it in the oven and you measure the dry weight before it, and then you put it in, you measure the wet weight, and you do your calculations, and then you'll end up with soil that might be very inert with not much in it. So the cations in there, the soil would be negative charged, and then if you had a sodium put in, it would take that position. And then if an ammonium comes in, it would bump the sodium out and take its position, and as it goes, keeps going up. So that's why soil can be locked up with aluminium. You get your and calcium. You get your pHs when they go above 8. They are very calcified. There's too much in it, because it's a scientific way that's happened. All right, that's a fair bit. Now I'll see if there's anyone said anything. I'll show you this one's today's stream. Any questions, anybody? Otherwise, I'm just showing stuff that I want to show. Big boy Kush, how you going, mate? Morning. Oh yeah, Jeff, I sent you a message. Kush, CC. Here's a question. Yield Source says, when feeding soluble nutrients, what would be the ideal temperature? Well, let's see if I can show you something. Where's that end temperature? All right, I'll just have a bit of a skim here. Soil temperature. Actually, there's a module I'm doing this week on soil temperature. Here's a few things on soil temperature I'll share. See, I don't know what's in here. I haven't seen this file for a while. Cat iron, nope. This one. It says soil temperature. This is a really old one. Soil pH. Yeah, good. Look out. How soil's made. No, that's to do with how it's made. You want to do with feeding. That's all the classifications of soil. It's redox. No, not relevant. I mean, it is very relevant for temperature, but it's not relevant because these chemical what do you call them? The reactions, the chemical reactions, they happen at different temperatures. Importance of soil temperature. Well, it affects plant and microbe growth. Like the plant's roots, they want it at about, hang on, I don't want to get this asked about here. It's 115 and 120. Which one's the lower one? It's the soil's roots. Plant's roots want it at about 15 degrees Celsius, which is about 60 odd Fahrenheit. Don't quote me. And microbes want it at about 20, 25 for our type of microbes that we're trying to brew, because we want mesothermic microbes. And in the thermophilic range, it goes up to about 45 Celsius to 50. That's when it changes into the thermophilic. So we don't want those types of microbes. We want it in the mesophilic. So that's about 15 Celsius, no, 20 Celsius odd, which is about, what's that, 65, 70 Fahrenheit. And the plant is a little bit higher. And the importance of soil temperature is plant and microbe growth, evaporation, because if it's too hot, it's going to evaporate fast off, and you kill your roots. Soil aeration, okay. Many important soil phenomena, from frost damaged pipelines to pavements and spring awakening of biological activities in soils. The effects of soils on microbes. Here we go. And you can measure your microbe, how much microbes you have by its respiration levels. So you put a CO2 meter in above your plant, and if that's too hard, if you've got a windy spot, you put a big bag around it and then put your CO2 meter in that, and that's going to tell you if it's above 420, around about what the outside is, 400 odd, that's doing good. If you've got about 800, it's really rad. If you're up about 1200, it's thriving in there, and you wouldn't have to you'd only be feeding it water because all the microbes are doing it. It's got all sorts of sulfur releasing bacteria, nitrogen fixing bacteria. There's so many different things. And this is a chart to show the soil temperature on how it is effective with your microbes. So if you're going to feed it at 25 C, which is 80 odd Fahrenheit, look how effective it is at unlocking these elements. So you've got your carbons respired. You know that means the microbes their respiration's high. So that means they're performing their energy transfers. Nitrogen's mineralized and sulfur's mineralized, so the green and the yellow. So the green and the yellow, so if you were to feed it at 10 Celsius, this is how much you're going to get this much effect in the soil. So it's at 500 megagrams of CO2 per kilo of soil is released. And if you are doing it at 25, you've got 1200. So what's that? 250% more. So I always try and aim at about 24 Celsius. I like it. That's what I used to keep my substrate set at, my temperature for soil. I always used to heat it. And the feed that goes in, I think my aquarium heater used to be around the same too, around the 24 mark. So I'd leave it in that until a little light went off, and then I knew it was fine to hand it over. Relationship between soil pH and changes. Note, redox potential, there's anything to do with temperature in that. Not really. Electron ion transfer chain, very good. Common ions and anions. This is really good once you get into art, but it's not related to the question. All right, that was good. Yield source, does that help, mate? Not only soils, but soils for hydroponic. 18 to 21 is for water. It says, yes, temps, not only soil, but soilless. Yes, this is for soilless as well. It's to do with plants. So I was just showing the substrate was soil, it was holding the medium. So you'd use, this is for hydro, for cocoa, for anything. So that's the temperatures at which those minerals are unlocked by the microbes. So it's wherever you house your microbes to feed your roots is what I was just showing you. Do you want me to show you some more, mate? I'll see if I can find some more on it. I actually didn't make a video on that. Soil temperatures. Because I like soil temperature, I'm sure I did. Let me have a look at the video stuff. So we've got in the video stuff, I can have a look, and that's got all the slides that I did to make the video. And it's heaps easy. So I'll just have a quick quiz because I've done a fair few videos. Oh, God, look at them all. Soil temperature. Soil temp, just temperature. Roots and temperature. Here it is. I did do a vid. I'm going to pull up some of the things for the slide. It's a bit tay. Do soluble nutrients require microbes? Well, I just closed that blimmin' thing off. Wow. I'll pull up the chart again, mate. What was I just looking at? Plant science. That's right, down the bottom. It was this chart. Sweet. No. Present. Share screen. Oh. There's the question. Do soluble nutrients require microbes? So if your soluble nutrients are exactly nitrate or ammonium, they don't require microbes because that's what the roots identify as an element that they can easily uptake. But if your nitrogen has nitrite or ammonia, which is a gas, or the other forms of monopotassium ammonia, monopotassium nitrate, that might need to be unlocked by a microbe. So you have to really give it exact sulfate. If you go and give it sulfide, it won't recognize it. Same with chlorus, your chlorine dose. If that's chlorine, it won't recognize it. It has to be chloride. So it has to be exactly what this says here, and then it won't need it. So that's why hydroponics works quite well, because they don't have many microbes in the system. So they've got to specifically give exactly what's on this side here. So if you were to make up yes, that'll do. I hope that's answered your question, mate. I'm not going to get rid of that page. Just in case. Do soluble nutrients. I was trying to show you more on this. That's right, temperature. This is a good temperature theme then today. Thanks, yield source. I'll go back to the temperature. So I pulled up some stuff for that. Share screen. Any other questions, please drop them, because otherwise I'm just expanding on yield source's question about ideal temperatures for feeding soluble nutrients. And I'll just elaborate on some temperature stuff. I'm sharing the screen. And hey, what was I going to show it? This one. How is solar heat utilized? No, little that's solar heat. The source of solar heat. Yeah, good. Importance of soil temperature. Yeah, I've already been through that. With soil temperature like that, you can get results like this on the right. If their soil temperature was a lot lower, they will have low plants. Just like in the Arctic. I lived for a few years in the Yukon up there, near Alaska, and the trees are really small, and it might be a 6-foot tree, might be 100 years old. But if you go down to BC, the 6-foot tree might be 1 year old, as an example, because the soil temperature is different. So microbes are working at different temperatures. So that's why everything's slow. Processes affected. So you got your, specifically, processes affected by soil temperature include seed germination and root function, winter burn from inhabited winter water uptakes by roots in cold soils. So see, you stress the plant out. That's why in late grows, some people might put cold water on their roots to stress it. If you're giving it a stress, it's going to take its energy away from finishing properly and trying to activate its immune system. And microbial processes are also affected. So decomposition of organic matter happens between 35 to 40 C, which is up at about 105 F, and nitrification. So from ammonium to nitrate happens about 30 Celsius. So if you've got your substrates, 30 Celsius is about 90 Fahrenheit. So as another example, which I was can back up what I was talking about before, and of course frost. Process affected. Yep, plant processes, microbes, freeze and thawing, soil heating by fire. Plant processes. Most of the plants are sensitive to soil temperature. You can, with your genetics, you can go and alter them and make them susceptible for cold conditions. It's called vernalization, or you can put it into its DNA by breeding into it. And this is my photo here on the right. With genetics, it's fine with a little bit of snow on it. And you can see here too, there's genetics that's all right with a bit of snow in the field. Because many plants require specific temperatures. So if you can breed it into them, it'll work with them. And also seed germination is definitely affected. If you do a process, roots will be sluggish through winters. Nutrient movements are slow in the plants. That's true. So if you want your flow of your plant, it's approximately, no, I'm not going to try and quote that, how fast it moves through your plant, but that does have a massive effect on it. Through your xylem and phloem, the nutrient uptake, if it's very slow like here, things aren't going to be processing and transpiring. So the roots aren't going to be sucking in, and it's going to be very, very slow growth going up. But if it's very hot, this process happens like you saw before, and it happens a lot faster, rapid growth. Excess temperature can cause damaged crops. Yeah, microbes, here we go. Microbes activity cease at below zero. Well, this is for plant processes I'm talking about here. There is microbes that do work that's found in glaciers, etc. Microbial activity is greater. The rates of respiration typically more than double every 10 degrees Celsius rise in temperature. So there you go. So by measuring your respiration again of your substrate, you can see how your plant or how your substrate is working with microbes at that particular time. The optimum temperature for microbial decomposition process may be 35 to 40, but that's remember, decomposition. This is for making compost. So that's for breaking down things. So of course it will break down faster in that temperature, but I probably wouldn't keep mine that high. In environments with hot and sunny dryers, this process called soil solarization can be used to control pests and diseases. So if you open it to the sun, just scrape all the top off, it'll solarize the soil below, killing pests and diseases. We went through that chart. When soil temperature reaches certain temperatures, it has different activities. Like here in the thermophilic range, which is what we don't want, bacteria dies. All our mesophilic bacteria dies. But where we want it, in our range, good things happen. So down the bottom, 100% moisture is used for plant's growth. Down here, a bit higher, 32 Celsius, 90 F, plant growth slows. So that's why you should always keep it in the green down here a bit. And if it's too hot, it transpires too much, leaving it not very much moisture in it, and it dries out too fast. So if you want something like on the right-hand side here, you should maintain is mesophilic temperatures with your genetics. Soil plants relationships with temperatures relate to a lot of things. Yeah, cold temperatures, colder temperatures, is that Fahrenheit? Yeah, I think it is. 40, yeah, it's Fahrenheit. So if it's anything below 45 F or like 15 Celsius, your fungus is going to thrive in it. Pythium fungus, nematodes. Hang on. No, I'm just going to correct that. It's the opposite. It says here, nematodes are killed and Pythium fungus is killed. So if it's in that, if you want to get down to 45, you can kill Pythium? Really? I've had Pythium a few times. I've put that into my genetics. That'd be a good experiment to try. If you ever get Pythium, you can take a cut and put it in, and then you'll see if you've got dampening off, and that's the sign of Pythium. Where's that photo? I saw it down here before, dampening off. Dampening off. So if it ever looks like that, so see how it falls over and it's sort of shrinking in the middle. That's dampening off. And it also down on the base, if you get that, looks like something's gnawed at it. That's different from Pythium as well. So to get rid of that, if you see that, I don't believe that. Yeah, it reckons add add Bacillus subtilis or Trichoderma hazarium, and I use Trichoderma hazarium and Bacillus subtilis, and I've gotten rid of it out of my cultivars, out of my genetic line. But to find out, it's pretty cool. See, it's always good to revise these things, isn't it? You find out different stuff. So that'd be a good test. So if you get it and see those dampening off, drop your soil temperature, put a probe in it, and see if it is the whole thing of the probe. And I suspect it's going to have to nearly go freezing for a few days. But see, the problem is with that is that plant cells generate every 15, 16 hours, where microbe and fungi cells generate every minutes, half an hour, odd, it's minutes to 30 minutes. It's really, really low. So the high chances, if your plants are susceptible to low temperatures, you might kill your plants first before you can actually kill Pythium by using that method I explained. Sorry, don't try it. Let me know if you do. Next, there's a lot of stuff in there. The thermal properties of soil. Yeah, factors affecting thermal conductivity. Yes, well, factors affecting thermal, no, this is more on nutrient feeding, soil temperature control. So that's why mulching makes a big difference with soil temperature control. So if you want it not to evaporate as much, put mulch on. That's what these charts show. Oxygen. What's this example of? Yeah, oxygen. Pyrogalol absorbs oxygen. Okay. Oh, that just must be for that it proves as that. Okay. Thermal treatment. No, you don't want to treat your soil substrate. Soil organic matter sensitivity to your temperature, and this is extremely important. Soil organic matter is, you want at least about 4% of your substrate, and then it's going to take care of a lot of things because it's going to have so much nutrients in it that everything can break down and get transformed into this and that to what things needed. But it does have an effect on your substrate. So if it's really low, if you've got it down at 30 Celsius, well, we're not going to ever have it at 50. This must be for do composting. But you can see the effects that it does have by temperature, though. Again, it's probably more a better way to put it. But yeah, that's those high temperatures for compost. Why does it go 40-20? And anyway, some people write different charts differently, don't they? Affects the soil temperature on root development. So if you have, the higher it gets to a medium in the middle, you can nearly draw a bar graph. Look at it, points out here like this. So but where you talked on the nutrient feeding, unlocking. So chemically, how does it work? Soil heating by fire? No. Variations of time with soil temperature. No, we're not talking about root growth. Summer and winter. No. Thermal properties of soils. No. Radox. There's your soil sensors to go and measure them. So you drop one of them in, connect it to your little device, and it picks it up and it gives you a number. And at least you know from that number what you're looking at. Put one in for moisture as well. There's one with pH added on it too, as well as moisture. Climate change is affecting things. Notice, soil temperature and your phosphorus uptake. So phosphorus, so see how the temperature drops? This is in Celsius. So if you've got a substrate at 15 Celsius, it's only 42% available to the plant. But if it's at 21 degrees Celsius, it's at 100% available. So phosphorus availability reduces heavily in cold sort substrates. Another reason why you've got to keep your temperature up a bit, and if it goes below that, you should have some sort of meters telling you that, and then for those meters, you'll be able to make it work by heating it somehow. Reduction, my God. The content of oxygen and soil gases in the soil. Well, this is pretty cool. In the atmosphere, there's only 0.035 of CO2, and in the soil air, there's 0.5. So that tells you that the microbes are working in there. And if you were to get, say, what's that soil called? Dirty soil? Yes. But what's it actually? It's not vermiculite. What's the other soil called? Anyway, the clay soil I'm trying to think of. If you were to get that, this would be lower because it doesn't have as many. It's higher in nutrients, but it's lower in microbes. So the soil air or the respiration would be lower. That's actually nothing to bloody do with it. All right, that'll do. The nuts and bolts of saving roots. High temperatures. Yes, just avoid stresses. Don't stress them. All right, better get back to it, see what's happening. 37, nearly been going for long enough. Oh, just a bit. Yourself, do soluble nutrients require microbes? Oh, yeah. I explained that before, I hope. I did explain that, mate. I'll just read down. I wouldn't use tap water. The chlorine kills all the microbes on all good stuff. Well said, Cloudscape Mystico. Yes, it sure does. The chlorine just kills microbes. It's an antibiotic. It kills them. So you have to evaporate it off, and it's only got a single hydrogen bond, chlorine. So it can be evaporated off just in air temperature in the air overnight. But chloramine has a triple hydrogen bond, and that's very hard to. You can't evaporate that off. You've got to boil it and try and remove it somehow. Add some chemicals. Sorry, sorry to people in North America. If your chlorine in your tap water, the city puts that in. So it's not by tank or well water. I nearly put it in my well water because of, anyway. LOL, don't try it. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you. Got my cheer. Got to go. Cheers. Make sure I get my bone. A wrench. Oh, my wrench. Oh, okay. You want a wrench? All right. There you go. How do you do that? Add moderator. There you go. You got a wrench. Well, Koski, g'day, Koski, how's it going? You got any questions, Koski? It's more like if I got any questions for him, he's been growing for bloody way longer than me, probably. Aussie Autos jokes. Oh yeah, okay. He said some terrible things about me, that Hook fella. So yeah, I don't take drama because it's stupid stuff. It's just really stupid stuff. We're not at high school anymore. So you sort of kind of grow up. So I've unsubbed as well. Hope everybody's well, says Koski. Yes, doing all right. Thanks, mate. Yeah, but you fellas helped out. It's a good enough show. We've been talking on really temperature today, on substrate temperature and the effects of substrate temperature on microbes and substrate, various substrates, and what chemicals get unlocked at different temperatures and the importance of your temperature. Yeah, the 1 pound water. Oh, okay. Chlorine is the worst. Chlorine is the worst. Anyone using that with their soluble newts definitely should change it up on, yes, and see a difference. One good reason to get a reverse osmosis system is that you know what you're working with that way, and there's no guessing. I realise I've had mine for, 25 years, and because I was getting deficiencies and all sorts and just didn't know what's going on. And then after getting that, bang, rule out all this stuff, because you know you've got a good input source of your liquid, of your water. So you can start from there and then see what else is going on. So, and to be honest, I got a 5-stage reverse osmosis, and it cost me, this is honest, $20 every 2 years. How much do I change my, I'd say every 2 years, but I don't put much through it. Mine only gets a few thousand odd litres through it, but still I drink out of it and other things out of it. So it's, I do use it a bit, and I drink a lot of water. So think about getting a reverse osmosis system, because tap water is just really bad. It can change a lot, especially if you're different systems. Like when I lived in Canada, they're different. When it would rain heaps, their town would have a lot of higher ppm in their substrates, because it would flush systems out from higher up, and then it would wash into the dams that they're keeping it in, which would raise the higher ppm that comes out in our taps. So the reverse osmosis system just caters for all that. It's fantastic. And a 5-stage, not a 2-stage, because the 2-stage ones, you'll have to change their filters more. Where I've got my 5-stage, it's got a deionizer, a reverse osmosis membrane, a few chlorine and a few carbon at different micron sizes. And I've got that meter on it that tells you the incoming ppm and the outgoing ppm, so you know when to change your filters. Koski, yeah, no question, no worries, mate. Yes. Great information. G'day, Bamboo. Thank you, mate, for your nice words. Good on you. I think I drowned. Just reading chat here. I think I drowned a bean in a peat pellet. Uh-oh. Starting fresh. Yes, starting. Well, starting, I just leave it in water, because seed needs 3 things to germinate: oxygen, temperature, and water. And once it's got those 3 things, it can germinate. So I leave it on top of the water, my reverse osmosis water. Actually, do I use RO? I might use tap water for this instance sometimes. It depends where the seed comes from, because that way I know that's going to be sterile. If I'm getting it from an unknown source, or from an impossible sterile source, like someone that's grown in sterile conditions, who breeds hydroponically, I might start my seeds in tap water, because that little bit of chlorine kills all of the bugs and bacteria and fungus that are going to come in and possibly start it. Where if you've obtained seeds from somebody like myself who breeds in organics, you'll get different rhizophagy endophytes that are inside of the seed that will come out when you germinate it. So will start to activate and defend the processes that happen in the germination. Where those other people that grow in sterile conditions, breed in them, they've got nothing in there, so it comes out and anything can take hold, and the chances of failure are very high. What else? Yeah, one's changing to RO stuff went crazy. Yeah, it's hard at the start, because there's so many different pipes and leads and this and that, and you think, oh, where can I connect it? And I've taken mine all over the world, and I've had some struggles trying to get it connected to different tap systems. So you have to have a few different screw on things and push on things and screw on, I said that, thread sizes to make stuff work. I really struggled in the past. Had mine 20. Yep, it's a great base for any water RO system. Koski's had his for 20. It eliminates a lot of different variables. What brand of filter? What's your brand of filter? To be honest, I go onto that major website that everyone uses, and I buy, I think it's I got a 10 micron and a 5 micron. And I think my end one to clean the water is a 1 micron. It's all written on it, but I just go and replace what it says on the sides of it. And I don't really worry about the brands. Of course, I wouldn't get anything from, that's written in non-English, but as long as it tests fine, because it's all about the filtering inside of it and the different membranes. I don't know, if you stuff a membrane, well, the filtering is not going to be as precise, so you'd see that in the results. The ppm would be a lot higher. So yeah, that's how I do it, I suppose. I don't get the big ones that are for commercial sizes. I get the little ones that are only about a foot long, 30 centimeters long. Thanks for the question, mate. Aussie Autos. The taproot sprouted, but didn't go any further. The others popped, though, so maybe was the bean. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I reckon, yep, a 1 in so-and-so chances. If you only got a 20% failure rate, that's pretty good genetics. 1 in 5, I reckon. All right, well, we're getting, what's this on? Oh, yep. I'm doing soil science and technology this semester. That's one of my classes I'm taking. So I'm up to lecture 11, which is soil tillage and soil density. Yeah, I'm going to write in that our forum too, and see what the doctor, what's his name? Shambarawaki, no, I should know. Shambarakarahu. Chakraborty, there it is. Dr. Chakraborty. Yeah, he's funny. Anyway, back to, I've lost the screen where I was at. Here we go. Okay. All right, does anybody have anything else? I think I've talked enough. What do you reckon? Should I talk a bit more about stuff that you haven't asked for? Get rid of that one. I reckon it's all right. I reckon we've done a good thing today. There's the lightning thing for you people. Oh, I suppose. No, I don't want to explain that. We've done enough today, haven't we? What do you think? My chat's going off its head. Look at it. I think we have. All right. Well, thanks everybody for your questions. I think I'm going to change the topic today of temperature, plant temperature and substrate temperature, because it was good. I could have gone into a lot more detail though, but didn't. I just tried to answer the questions, but it ended up like that. So yeah, it was pretty good. We could have got in to see what others. Anyway, thanks everybody for rocking up and putting in the effort, putting the watch in, stuff like that. I appreciate it lots. And to the few people that subscribed, I appreciate that too. Heaps. That's what that little money button underneath does. If you need some help, you can click that money button and I can probably give you some assistance of some legal type. It's legal because I have to respect the laws. All right, thanks everybody again. I'll see you in 7 days' time and we'll do it all again. Think of some topic next week because I haven't got a topic. So if you got your questions, roll them in, or I'll be just starting off again today like today, seeing what other plant stuff we can find out on and clarify for people. Vin says, cheers, CC. All right, I'm going to wrap her up. Thank you, Vin, and everybody else for your input and for your efforts to watch it and listen and stuff. I appreciate it heaps. I hope you have an excellent day and night wherever you are. Happy breeding, happy growing, and good health to you all. Bye-bye.